Hello, friend. I can hear you, I think.
Cool.
And I can see you.
Hey, how's it going?
Ciao,
Great.
gwEm.
Ciao, Fabio. How's it going?
It's going great, and as you can see, I am. I was talking about your. Oh yes, yes. We are. We are. It's like we are having the same tea.
Oh, great.
It's the
Yes, we maybe we
same
are.
teapot.
Maybe we are.
Yeah. What are you drinking, friend?
I'm drinking Earl Grey, actually, Fabio.
That's very British of you.
Yeah, I feel very British right now.
Man, I am. Before doing anything, I am just so happy to be able to spend some time chatting with you. Me and Marta, we both miss you a lot, and we really look forward for you to come to Italy as soon as it's possible.
Yeah, it's been such a long time. I really miss you guys as well.
Yeah, I think the last time we've met each other was at Shipwrecked Festival in Bornholm in Denmark, right?
I think it was in Tuscany.
Oh yeah. Montelupo was later. So cheers.
Cheers.
How are you?
I'm going pretty well, actually. Thanks, Marta. My work's a bit rubbish right now, but everything else is going really well at the moment, except for that.
That's great. And by the way, my friend gwEm here has both a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel. The YouTube channel is called the gwEmbassy, which is a really, I really love I'm a sucker for puns, so it's a really good name. Please, mods, find the link to his YouTube channel and spam it in the chat. And also, you also do have a Twitch channel, which is just gwEm, right?
Yeah, that's right. GW3M, yeah.
GW3M. Quindi è scritto gwEm con la E, non con la N, con la M di Milano. So, what kind of gear do you have there at the moment?
Okay, right. So right now, I've got this old EMU SP1200 sampler, and underneath it is Akai S700 12-bit sampler, and just out of shot is the 808.
I am so jealous of that 808, man.
Oh, it's really, really nice. Yeah. You know, when you hear these guys saying, oh, yeah, vintage gear, blah, blah, so much better. And you think, well, there's pretty good emulations now. And that's true, I think, for every gear that I tried, except for the 808. It's really different to all the kind of recreations of it. But everything else I've tried, you can just take a modern version, but not the 808. There's something quite unique about it. The sound isn't very constant. So when you play a beat, it even though it's the same beat, it goes up and down in energy, and there's a lot of kind of dynamics and movement with it that you don't really hear if you kind of use a modern version.
Yeah, that's. I was also. I was speaking earlier about emulation because we are celebrating December with an Advent calendar, and it's all about the Commodore 64. And I was listening to a seed tune, to a very nice seed tune, and I was speaking about the analog component of the seed chip and how it's technically very difficult to emulate perfectly. But
yeah, there's so much kind of it's not just playing the same sound each time. Every kick drum is a little bit different from the previous one, and it just feels kind of old when you use it. And I think that's true for the SID as well, actually. You're right, Fabio. It's cool listening to SID chip tunes on an emulator. You hear the song and you can appreciate the music, but when you listen to it on a real 64, it definitely does sound different. It's kind of more rounded. And
yeah, it's sometimes I feel like what's really special about vintage gear, it's the imperfection. It's imperfection that gives such a character to the 808 and to the Commodore 64 and to many other things. Like digital is more clean, but I don't want this to be an elitism thing, because I love emulation, because emulation is a way for more people to be able to experience vintage computing or synthesizers. It's really expensive to get an 808. How much is an 808 right now?
Yeah, this was super expensive. Actually, the guy I bought it off was based in Milan. Originally this one was even sold in, I don't know, I'll bring it a bit closer, but you can see the original sticker, Music Müller. It's from Bern in Switzerland. So apparently, the owner before was a kind of a hard house producer from Switzerland. And then the previous guy bought it from him. He moved to Berlin and then to Milano. And then he sold it to me for, it was over 3,000 euros, basically. And now it's in London with me. So it has a real kind of history, which I think is quite cool as well.
I always, this is part of the charm for me, that whenever I get my hands on some vintage gear, be it a Game Boy, an 808, an arcade PCB, what's special for me is that I think of the story. Like I own a Circus Charlie original PCB, arcade PCB from Konami. And I think about the story of how that singular piece of hardware made its way to my hands. Like it was born in Japan. It was for sure in some machine in Japan. Then it was maybe forgotten for years, and then found and then sold. I think it's a really maybe we just want to give some character and some soul to objects, and maybe they do have one.
Yeah, I sometimes think they do, because sometimes they break, and I don't know, the older something gets, I think the more character it has. It's funny because although this thing is super expensive, really, let's be honest, you can still get some cool old bits of gear for some quite affordable prices. So another example of like a vintage gear is this Kawaii K1M. So someone who views my YouTube channel sent me a message and recommended that I pick this up. And it was about 80 euros. And I think it's just as cool as the 808. I mean, it's not as famous, obviously, but it sounds great on its own as well. And it's got all that kind of retro charm.
Yeah, let me see if I can. I'm looking for the exact video on your. Can you please repeat the name of the hardware?
Yeah, it's the Kawaii K1M.
Let me see. Lindrum, Rave Jam. I can't find it, but I will just start a random video from your channel, so people can see what's it all about. But there is actually something I want. Oh, you are not seeing me. Sorry about that.
No, I just see a grey screen.
Now you can see.
Now I see.
Now you can see
Cool.
the output of my OBS. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so, look at this. Ta-da! This is a yellow website, and I would very much like to chat with you about this thing that was very important for both of us, but that ultimately you experienced before me, because when I got into Micromusic, which is at the time was also called 8-bit music or whatever, you were already a very well established musician in the scene, and you were active since the very early days. So, what is this website?
Yeah, Micromusic.net is one of the very early online communities, and it is definitely the first one dedicated to the type of music we make, whether we call it chiptune, 8-bit, or Micromusic. So it's quite basic inside when you go. Yeah, everything is in very bold colors like the yellow and the blue, and there's some screens which are green as well. So you can upload your own music to it, and then every month they get listened to, and the best ones are uploaded. And a lot of people met there and decided to organize the first parties with the chiptune music. And there's also a very basic live chat that you can just speak one-to-one to each other.
And it was I remember when the cool thing about this website is that it actually spawned lots of events, and it was very instrumental for the rebirth of what I call the second wave of chiptune, because we had classic chiptune in the 80s and in the 90s. Then it has gone dormant for in a sense. And then we started organizing these real life shows, and Micromusic.net was the hub where everybody, all of us weirdos, were finding out that there were other weirdos in different parts of the world, and we started working together. We started to establish the Micromusic headquarters. Oh, let me see if the old page for our headquarter is still existent. No, it does not, of course. But there were headquarters. Basically, there was the Milano headquarter, the London headquarter, the Marseille headquarter, the Rome headquarter, Valencia, of course, Sweden. Different parts of the world had their own headquarters. And we really used to work together. I remember the first time I met Bart Culomono, who then went on to play at my wedding, to be the DJ at my wedding. It was just he was traveling to Milano, and he contacted us from Micromusic and told us, yeah guys, I'm coming to Milano, I play the Game Boy, maybe let's organize a party. And we did, and we became friends, and in this way the Micromusic network developed. This is also, and also there was the map. A map,
the map's cool.
With an archive, micro events in 2020, micro party in winter tour. This should have been me. I think it was, yes.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah.
It was me and Stu and Marie Cyanide Dansen, and it was everything related to Micromusic is very special to me, because that's how I met many of my friends. Like, when did we meet the first time, Gareth?
I can't remember exactly the first time. Maybe it was the premiere of Europe in 8-bits, or did we meet before?
I think we've met before that. I think we've met before. And maybe it was for a show in Valencia. It was a show in that really sketchy place in Valencia. And later we've gone to the Micromusic, to the Europe in 8 bits premiere. This is a snippet of Europe in 8 bits. Oh, look at you. Una nueva forma de punk, un mensaje político nuevo que no necesitamos mucha calidad o un estudio de sonido lujo. Nosotros podemos coger un grabador de los 80-90, conectarlo y hacer un éxito de 8 bits. Well, this was a documentary made by some Spanish guys. This is really good, and you can check it out on. I think you can also buy this documentary or rent it. It's really good. You can also find it on YouTube, but please support the good things. And there is something very important that you did for the Micromusic scene. Apart from being a musician and playing your own music, you did something crucial, which is to create a software. What did you do?
Yeah, so I did a couple of softwares, but the main one is Maximizer, which is Atari ST music program, which is available online for free. I can see you've got some videos of people using Maximizer there. So the idea was to combine the best elements of all of the existing trackers that existed and put them into one kind of mega tracker, if you like, which included all the Atari ST sound chip techniques with a more modern tracker interface, which is kind of similar to the Fast Tracker 2 program. And at the beginning, I remember when I first released it, it's very slowly gained popularity over the years, but now it's when you go to an Atari demo party, it's the main tracker that's used for 95% of the new Atari chip tunes. It took people a while to switch, but at this point, it's definitely the main one that everyone's using, and that makes me pretty happy, actually. It's when I hear a really good new tune with Maximizer, I feel really proud to have created it. There's a really early video of me introducing, I think it was one of the second or third version of Maximizer. That jumper I'm wearing is really cool. I wish I still had it, but I used to wear it so much that it got holes in the arms and I had to throw it away. I stole I don't know if I stole it, but I was in a club in Berlin and this jumper was just a lot on the side. And I just picked it up and yeah.
Okay, what is your favorite micro party memory? After that, I want to go back to talking about Maximizer. But what's your favorite or craziest demo chiptune party memory?
There's many cool ones, but I think Blip Festival in the first one I played in 2007 in New York was pretty amazing. One of the second or third parties I played was in Barcelona with Manu, Carl and Vanga, and that was a gaming expo, which was super cool. And I think recently the chipwreck parties on Bornholm are are super great.
Yeah, I
And
totally
they're
agree.
super memorable.
Chipwrecked, for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, Chipwrecked is an amazing festival. It's not even. Why does it? I don't want the chipmunks. I want Chipwrecked. Chipwrecked chip tune, please. No, it's only the chipmunks. Why? Okay, let's. Why? Grown man plays Alvin and the Chipmunks. Chipwrecked for Wii, because there's a game called Chipwrecked. Okay, I will just look for live gwEm, and I think there's one of your shows in Bornholm.
Somewhere there must be a little clip. Any chiptune party is cool and memorable, actually. There's something about the music which is super fun. Sometimes if you go to just like a normal drum and bass party or something, like the atmosphere can sometimes be a bit weird. Not everyone is there to have a good time. But when you go to a chiptune party, it's quite different. Everyone's always smiling and in a good mood. And that's me playing in
Tokyo.
Yeah, that's right. That's Blip Tokyo 2007. And yeah, I'm there with Nintendo DS, and just to the side, I have my Flying V guitar that I play on some tracks.
That's you just said something very important about why I like this stuff so much, because I think we all have a similar story. We gravitated towards old hardware, and we started making music with it, and we definitely liked the music. But what got me to stay was the people, because what I found at chiptune parties, which are mostly underground parties, like this one in Japan, it's difficult to do underground in Japan, so this looks more refined. But some of the shows, some of the chiptune shows are really sketchy, ravey, weird. It's incredible, and people are just there to have fun, and people, with very few exceptions, are very good to each other. And there is also, and I think this is key in talking about Maximizer, is that what really is special for me about the scene, the Micromusic scene, is it was the sharing of information. Because if you go listen to what we used to do with the Game Boy in 2009, it sounds like child play with what any random kid can do right now by picking up a Game Boy, just by looking at tutorials, at stuff we've done, stuff other people have done. And there is I think it's a hacker ethic behind Micromusic, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. It's I sometimes think of it as a gift economy. In the sense that people are happy to share information because they also learn things from the community as well. So it's not exactly the open source, but if people have an idea or a technique, in the past, in the demo scene, quite often they would be kept as a secret. But now it's just shared between everyone, which I think is really healthy, and it lets you kind of build on what's gone on before.
Yeah, definitely. And what about your axe, your guitar? Because first of all, I am playing the guitar. I picked up again my guitar, and I'm actually playing with a gwEm pick, so it's fun. But please tell me about the your relationship and the way you managed to marry chiptune, drum and bass, rave and heavy metal. And thank you Marco Simoni, ci vediamo presto, ciao. So,
yeah, I mean, it seems quite natural to me, although no one else is really doing this mixture of styles. So the drum and bass came because before I was into chiptune, I was super into drum and bass. And I was even DJing drum and bass in some clubs and stuff. And it was nearly like a part-time job. Now, the guitar happened because I wanted to do something a bit more. I was into punk and heavy metal, like Judas Priest is one of my favorite bands. And it seemed to me that all the kind of cool bands that I like, they always had a flying V. And I really wanted a white flying V because as you can see on this clip, you can see it very easily on stage. And it took me quite a while before I could afford a white one, but the first guitar that I bought was a kind of a yellowish wood one. And I got it for a specific reason because I had an idea for this, what I was thinking of as being like an electro clash or an electro punk track called Fuck You Management Wanker. And I really wanted a guitar sound in there to make it sound trashy and punk, but I couldn't play guitar. I didn't really know anyone who could play guitar. So I went into a music store in the town where I was at university at the time, and there was a second-hand Flying V right there, just in the middle of the shop. So I had no idea how to play it, but I said, give me that, and the guy said, well, yeah, do you want to try it? And I was like, well, yeah, I guess I should. But I had no idea what I was doing.
I guess I should.
Said, yeah, that's enough. So, yeah, I had to teach myself to play. But I had no idea. So that song, Fuck You Management Wanker, I literally just played individual chords and sampled them in. And the solo is just, I played it in note by note and just sequenced it in. But the first gig I had to play the song live, and there was no way that I could really do it. So I just practiced like crazy. And then suddenly I could play the guitar a little bit. I got a Black Sabbath music book. So I wanted to put the guitar into the chiptune and the drum and bass stuff that I was making. So it just became like a melting pot of styles, I suppose. And actually, when I listen to a really good drum and bass track or a really good heavy metal track, it gives me the same feeling inside of excitement and adrenaline. So it just seemed to make sense to just put it all together and just make something that has all my favorite things in it.
Man, speaking about guitars, we do have a very old collaboration that we never got to finish. Do you remember?
That's right. Yeah.
Me and gwEm, when Lemmy Kilmister of Motorhead passed away, we decided to do our own tribute to him. And at first we said, let's wait a little, because we cared about Lemmy and we really cared about Motorhead, because it was very important for both me and gwEm for maybe different reasons, but we love it. And we said, let's wait a little, because I really don't like to make instant tributes, because it feels like you're trying to profit over the wave of awareness about something, and we really wanted to pay respects. And so we started a little later, and we almost finished it, but we never finished it. It's my Game Boy with his guitar and his voice.
Mm.
and we should finish that if you want.
Yeah, we should. I mean, it's basically done, right? We
Yeah.
just wanted to do some tweaks, and we even played it live once.
Yeah, we
which was
played
kind
it
of
live in
Manchester.
In Manchester. Man, I do miss shows. I have seen a tweet yesterday because in Australia they are doing really well with the corona. They were very badly hit, but they are not that many. It's not there's way less Australians than Europeans, but they really managed to keep it under control. And yesterday they were tweeting of a festival, and the tweet said, "Post-pandemic festival are a thing," and I missed shows. And by looking at that tweet, I saw people so fucking happy, so happy, so excited to be at a show. I really can't wait until we can play a show together.
Oh no, that would be fantastic, Fabio. I love playing shows really a lot, and I think I enjoy playing them more and more as time goes on as well. When I was a lot younger and I went to my first metal shows, and obviously the guys in the bands were a bit older, like Motorhead, for example, but even Iron Maiden or Gamma Ray or Judas Priest, the guys are a lot older. They must be in their 50s or 60s, and they're smiling like idiots, and it looks like they're having the time of their lives on stage. And I was thinking to myself, man, are they really that happy, or is it kind of just for the show? But they are that happy, and I think you appreciate more later on, because the show is so in the moment. And when you're younger, you think, oh, well, there'll probably be more shows, so, but later on you think, well, this could be one of the last shows, so let's make it like a really great show, and you get into it so much more and appreciate it so much more, and you enjoy it so much more as well, I think. I can't wait to do just one more show will be great.
Yeah, I can tell you what I am organizing, because I think we are finally... I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, let's say. And I know that this summer I will have a chance to do again what I did last summer, but with much more time and with a different world around me. There is a place in Montelupo. You've been to Montelupo, you played in Montelupo, but there is another place very close to Montelupo, actually part of Montelupo, and it's a park. It's I can show it to you. It's called the Parco dell'Ambrosiana, and let's see, it's let me full spark. Okay, and it's basically, well, it's this. It's a beautiful place in Tuscany, in beautiful Tuscany, and it's summer. And some friends of mine, the guys from 8-Bit Club, where you performed twice, have this space. The municipality gave them the space to organize shows, and we will be able to organize an open air show. And I have a project for it. I would like to make it a 2-day festival, like invite a shit ton of artists, and I would actually like for you to play 2 sets, one day as gwEm, and one day to do the Ultra Seed tribute set.
Yeah,
because I think that as a scene, we were denied a moment of closure, and I think it will be beautiful to do it together. A little bit of context. This year has been very difficult for many of us, but in the chiptune scene we had this tragedy. A very good friend of us, Ultrasit, who used to make music with an Atari ST and Maximizer, sadly and suddenly passed away. And it was terrible for us not to be able to come together and grieve, I guess. So I would really love to have this big party, open air, summer, Tuscany, food, beer, beautiful, and to have 2 days of shows and one with you and one with I guess you're the most apt person to perform the tribute. What do you think?
I'm happy to do it. It was very super sad when he passed away a couple of months ago. Actually, I think we're all still thinking about it. I did do a little. I mean, I didn't even really think of it as a tribute, but I just wanted to do something on the. And I did a little Twitch stream, which is on YouTube, but it was very unplanned. There it is.
Yeah.
So the idea of doing something more where I rehearse and get some more of his tracks and do a kind of a more prepared, more like a proper tribute.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. So this is a sad thought because we have all lost a friend, but here's a happy thought. This summer, save the date, Italy, Tuscany, open air, huge party, and it's going to be a celebration of all the shows that we've missed in a year and of our friend. I swear I will put my 100% into organizing a really cool event. I think Metazoa TV was there this summer when we played the show at Ambrosiana Fools Park. But I have a question because by seeing this stream, we can see the way you usually set up your Ataris. How do you work live? Because I can't see any screen.
Yeah, that's a good question. So this is another program that I wrote for the Atari. So it's called STJ. So before I wrote this STJ, which is obviously Atari ST with DJ together, I always used to bring a screen around with me, and at the time, these nice little LCD panels, they didn't really exist. So I had to bring like a massive portable TV, and it was such a pain. So I had the idea, well, what do I really use the screen for is for picking the tracks that I play. So what I do is to have each track mapped to one of the letter keys, A to Z. So I have a piece of paper, or I can have it on my mobile phone, where I have what each letter corresponds to which track name. So I can load the tracks, and then using the arrow keys, I can operate it a bit like a CDJ turntable and pitch up and down the tracks and beat match them. So it becomes like a kind of like a chiptune CDJ tool, basically. And you don't need a screen. So both of those Ataris I can put into one suitcase, and it's very convenient for doing gigs in different places.
Yeah, I remember a show you played in Milano with the two Ataris in that amazing basement. Do you remember?
Yeah, that was a really cool show. I do remember that very well. It was nice and busy. It was a really good chiptune night.
I think I can find, let's see, Milano, Chiptune Underground. I think I can find the invitation I made for that one. Oh yeah, here it is. I can also put some audio. Man, I miss organizing shows so much. So much.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, isn't it? I think it's half of chiptune is the live shows, because that's when you can appreciate the real spirit behind the music. It's fine to listen to it at home and stuff, but yeah, the thing is when you go to a show and everyone's so happy and smiling, that's the thing.
Yeah, and I have to say that as much as I miss shows, and I really miss them so much, because we used to play dozens of shows, and it was a really nice way for me to travel, to meet people, to see friends, because we've met once in London, a couple of times in Italy, but most of the times you and I met in Amsterdam, in Valencia, all over, and that's so fun. But I have to say that being on Twitch really helped me this year, because I guess I need an output. Otherwise I explode, and being daily on Twitch really helped me keep in contact with the world and not feel lonely, I guess. And you recently started streaming on Twitch. What do you do on Twitch?
Yeah, that's actually, well, it was you who gave me the idea to, or encouraged me to do it. So I'll tell the whole story. So originally, I played your online festival on your Twitch channel, and I had no equipment at all for that, and we did a test with my laptop webcam, and the quality was awful. So you sent me a proper webcam, and
all right, I did. Yeah.
And then the gig went well and everything. So I was thinking, well, I have this webcam now. What can I do, right? So I thought, well, I'm watching a lot of YouTube, and actually there are some cool channels that I like, but there's no one really doing the type of gear and videos that I want to see. So I thought, well, let me use this webcam, and I will do a YouTube channel. But then I remember we were talking about it in Tuscany, and you were like, "Oh, yeah, how's the YouTube going?" Because I just started. And I was like, "Well, it's going kind of well, but the problem with YouTube is it sucks a little bit as well, because the algorithm only really pushes what's already there, so it just becomes a self-fulfilling world. It's hard to really interact with people on it as well, unless you do a live thing. But YouTube's not really set up for that. So you were saying how much you liked streaming on Twitch and how cool it was. So I was thinking about that. And then during the lockdown, I did a few more online shows. So I was thinking, well, why don't I just do what I do on my YouTube, but on Twitch? And actually, it's turned out really well. So I have a very small kind of community who joins me every week. I stream on Wednesday, and each week I try to make it different from every other week. So I come up with an idea. I'm not sure what I'll do this week, but I'm thinking now that I have the 808 out, I might do an 808 special. I try to alternate. One week I do chiptune, and then the next week I do something else. So every other one is a maximizer chiptune stream, and then on alternate weeks I'll do kind of like a non-chiptune electronic music making. So I've built a guitar on the stream.
Yeah, we are actually looking at that right now.
Yeah, and what else? I've written a whole maximizer chiptune from beginning to end. I did a special on doing samples in maximizer. I've done like a hard trance stream and stuff like that as well. So it's quite fun, and it's so much nicer people being able to ask me questions there and then directly. I can answer them immediately, and the interaction's quite cool. The problem with what's good about YouTube is that the video always stays there and people can refer to it in the future whenever they like. But the bad thing is that the process of asking questions is much longer, and people aren't really encouraged to interact with you on YouTube in the way that they are on Twitch. So I do like it. And like you say, with lockdown, it's kind of cool. It's probably one of the favorite things I do each week is the stream.
I have a question about Atari ST emulation. How is it?
It's really good. I write all my songs on emulator these days, and I only put them on the real ST when it comes to playing live now.
Is there any emulator you recommend?
Yeah, so there's two that I use. So for PC, I use one called Steam, and for Mac...
yeah, the one with two E's, STEE.
Yeah. Steam.atari.st is the link.
Oh, yeah.
And there's even a video where I install it.
Oh, yeah, it is. You're so helpful.
Yeah. And there's one for Mac, which I use called Atari, which I think is actually even better than Steam. And they sound really good. Not quite the same, but 99% the same. In the past, when I put them on the real Ataris, I used to sometimes change some things, but I never really do that anymore. Atari is so close that it's nice to be able to make tracks in my bed on the laptop and stuff. It's much more handy.
Two things. We have a very interesting question from the chat, but before that, I would like to invite you, because I am doing these morning shows, and I will be doing them for quite a long time, I hope. And so I like to invite back friends. And so I have an idea. For the next time you will come to KenoMATTINA, to this morning show, if you want, would you like to give me a maximizer lesson? Like, I will be lazy. I won't cheat by looking at the tutorials earlier. Just let's make a single beat on maximizer together. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, that would be really good fun, actually, I think. That would be cool. I'm happy to do that.
Okay, so the next time you come on KenoBizboch, we will do an Atari maximizer lesson, because I think it's nice, since our audience is mostly Italian. If it's not a tutorial, but if it's a lesson to me, I can say some words in Italian and explain what's going on, and it's going to work well. But we have an interesting question by Cuckoo. Can you make some examples of mainstream music using this famous 808? Can you make examples of something that doesn't use an 808? No, I mean, he wants to know what uses 808. Basically, 99% of the trap music.
Yeah, trap uses it. Most electro uses 808. A lot of hip hop uses it as well. And I can switch it on maybe. I don't know how well it will come through the microphone, but it's a very classic sound. You recognize it straight away. But it also sounds, although it sounds like quite old and retro, it also still manages to sound like the future as well.
Yes, and that's the key about everything we do. Finding a little bit of future in the past. I also love the color scheme of the 808. Red, orange, yellow, white, and black.
Yes, there's some really cool trainers and clothes and stuff that use these 808 colors that I really switch off all the crazy effects and stuff. Can you hear that?
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. In pratica il suono della 808 c'è in tantissima elettronica, ma veramente dagli anni 80 in avanti c'è ovunque. What an amazing machine. I am so jealous of the 808.
Yes, it's really good, definitely. This thing is really cool as well, maybe even cooler, the SP1200 sampler. With this piece of gear, you can make any music that you want. I think what chiptune teaches you is that you don't really need to have fancy gear to make good tunes. I mean, as cool as this 808 is, and it's really cool. If you buy a Game Boy or an Atari, you have so much more power available, and you can really do anything you want with this stuff.
Yeah,
it's nice
I think it's why chiptune is so powerful in a punk way, because making electronic music can be very expensive. Even if you want to own a good PC, if you want to buy audio interfaces, with chiptune you could make some really amazing tracks with no money. And that's why Malcolm McLaren was in love with chiptune. He also organized a show in Florence. Do you remember that?
Yeah. The Malcolm McLaren thing was very interesting. I mean, he really wanted to use chiptune to promote himself in a way, but he was right. It is kind of like the modern punk, because if you want to make music, like you say, okay, you can use a laptop if you want, but you know, if you want to make something raw and impactful, then you can buy a Game Boy for 15 euros or even less. And then you're into like a whole world of playing live and meeting people and doing cool stuff. It's definitely probably the type of music with the cheapest barrier to entry. You need almost nothing to make chiptune, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah, me too. So for the next time, we will show you how to make chiptune with an Atari ST, with gwEm teaching to me. I am a complete noob on the Atari ST. I am by no means new to tracking, so I think I can be a good student. And man, I miss you so much. It was really great having taking this time to chat.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me onto the show as well. It's been really nice just talking to you and like saying hi to Marta and stuff. What the lockdown has shown a lot to me is how important online friends are. I still talk to kind of my London-based friends and stuff like that, but I'm speaking much more to chiptune people now, and I realize actually how much we have in common, not just with the music, but kind of attitude. And I don't like to talk about politics too much, but I think we all share the same kind of vision of how society should be and stuff. And everyone is quite intelligent and sensitive as well. And I think, yeah, those chiptune friends are pretty special. And I would definitely say, you're one of my best friends on the scene and just in general, actually.
Same for me, friend. I really, really miss you so much. I think of course, this was a fucking problem, the pandemic, but now I am starting to look forward to the first real life moment, a show, a meetup, because I think those are going to be especially great. I think those are going to be really, really powerful. I can't see you anymore, gwEm.
Yeah, someone tried to call me. I'm back.
So I think we can look forward to great meetups, great parties, great dinners, and the passion we share now, which is alcohol-free beer. You inspired me to try the good ones, and I can't wait to drink a few ones with you, because I found some pretty good ones.
Yeah, a few years ago, I decided to go completely dry and not drink alcohol anymore. My girlfriend at the time convinced me to do it because I was not really an alcoholic, but I don't know, I just wasn't really happy anymore when I was drinking. So it was a fair point. There was no real need to do it. So I switched over to alcohol-free, and at that time, that it tasted awful. The alcohol-free alternatives were not really good. I mean, I think most people have tried a Beck's Blue or something like that when they're driving, and it's like not that nice to drink it. I mean, you can drink it, but when you have it, it's like.
I once remember a gentleman defining it like piss in a bottle.
Yeah, it is.
The really cheap one does, but the good ones.
Yeah, well, now people have put their mind to it, and there are really good ones available. I think not drinking alcohol beer, if you love beer like I do, you want to have a good beer, and there are like loads of really good options for alcohol-free beers now, and there's more coming out all the time, and I like to try every single one I can get my hands on.
And I am less extreme than you because I'm not completely dry, but I do several periods. I say, okay, now I will not that I'm an alcoholic, but now I will not drink for 1 month, or now I will not drink for 2 months. And it's refreshing. I could never go completely dry, because I really do enjoy wine. And I could live with alcohol-free beer. Wine, it would be really difficult for me to renounce it. So I never go completely dry, but I like to be completely dry for a few weeks, and it's refreshing. And I think as soon as the stigma around alcohol-free beer being, I think it's funny because it's unmanly, and why the fuck would I care?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because like beer is about drinking, right? But it's I think what makes the good time is not getting drunk, it's being around your friends. And actually, when my friends are drinking a bit, I pick up some of their good energy, and I still feel good as well, you know. And I think part of the stigma was that alcohol beer just didn't used to taste very good 5 years ago, and now it tastes just as good as
it's gonna take some time for the fact that now you can actually buy good ones to sink in. So Gareth, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Let's figure out when to do the next one, whenever you feel like we have time. We could also maybe make it a little longer, so we can make maybe let's start at 10, maybe in January. We can start around 10 and do 2 hours of Maximizer.
That would be great. I'd happily do that.
So, guys, follow tutti quanti, seguite gwEm, lo trovate su Twitch come, faccio direttamente lo shout out, gwEm, GW3M, right?
Yeah.
Seguitelo su Twitch, seguitelo su YouTube, il suo canale si chiama gwEmbassy. Seguitelo perché veramente fa dei contenuti fighissimi ed è un essere umano di estrema qualità. I just said some good things about you. And man, thank you so much for taking the time, and see you soon on stream, on YouTube, on Twitch, and hopefully in real life.
Great.
Oh, there's
Cheers,
Flopin!
man.
Ciao Flopin!
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you, man. Ciao gwEm, ciao amico.
Ciao.